You probably know the story by now, where the black kid stabbed the white kid in the heart, killing him over a seat. Well, since then, there's been GoFundMe's, as you would expect, and Karmelo Anthony's GoFundMe, the killer, was recently shut down by GoFundMe. But another crowdfunding website by the name of GiveSendGo, which is ran, of course, by two white saviors who, funny enough, call themselves a Christian crowdfunding platform. And I looked them up and saw that they were siblings that was at CPAC, a Republican conservative event, which again I've talked about conservatives right along with libtards and how they're pretty much one and the same. The only difference is the conservatives are just liberals in disguise. But yeah, they've decided to keep his GoFundMe up, the killer. And last time I checked, his GoFundMe, his crowdfund was doing better than Austin Metcalf's, the white boy that got killed. And again, it makes you wonder, well, did a bunch of Negroes get together, financially support, driven by their hate of white people, which black people, you can easily go online. They make it pretty public on a daily basis of how much they hate white people and blame them for everything. When it comes to slavery, systematic oppression, all of it, it's pretty darn clear. Which is why whenever a crime happens, where a black person does something to a white person, it's safe to say that it is racially motivated, especially when, again, the overwhelming majority of black people raise other black people to be racist against whites. And then you have the government and corporations that encourage that anti white racist narrative. Now, they're doing it for a different purpose, is to push globalism, and the easiest way to get a lot of Negroes and other so called minority groups on board is just to paint Western civilization and culture and capitalism, paint it as the white man. And that's how you get a lot of people on board and, trying to destroy the very same society that allows them to thrive, quite frankly. Uh, but anyway, that goes into explaining why, Austin Metcalf has any hate attached to his name. Because, Austin, he represents that physical aesthetic that particularly, you know, Negroes despise. A heterosexual white male who looks like what their black queens would love if he, ever desired to have a relationship with, and who was successful. I mean, you could scroll down various threads and see that Negroes automatically assumed that he was well to do, that he was a rich kid, and then you find out that his mother works several jobs. But again, that's what Negroes see when they look at white people. These pro blacks, they look at white people automatically as being rich and superior in every way. But they're the very same ones that would accuse others of being the ones that worship whites when, quite frankly, when you're on this white supremacist narrative, a great deal of that deals in you believing that someone is controlling you and has the capabilities of doing all of these things that control you and make you do things, which is saying someone is a superior to you if they can make you think certain ways and do certain things, which then makes them have all of the blame. But again, that's how low IQ a lot of Negroes are. They don't comprehend how that white supremacist narrative puts them in an inferiority position. But again, it's quite revealing that the loud and proud liberal crowdfunding platform and GoFundMe, I mean, again, they could bring back up the crowdfund, but currently the overtly liberal platform and GoFundMe has shut down their crowdfunding platform for Carmelo Anthony, but the Christian platform, and I'm sure they're hiding behind this whole narrative of free speech, uh, Christian platform that attended conservative Republican events, they're the ones that's keeping the funding for Austin Metcalf's killer alive. But again, it just goes to show you how so many white people, not just liberal, but so called conservative as well, are just utterly clueless about the one sided race war that's happening against them. Like, they still believe in this nonsensical notion that coexistence can happen with other groups of people that put them at the center of all of their issues. They blame them for everything, and they think through, I don't know, their idea of we're all God's people, or we're all a part of one race, human race. They think those narratives, they think those concepts will somehow prevent them from being hated by people that, again, have committed to hating them and blaming them for everything. Which, again, the mainstream media and Western governments nationwide, they play a huge part in enabling those narratives for their globalist agenda. And the reason why, again, I have no connection to a Negro stabber, because a nigga like this would kill me, would kill someone I care about due to his low impulse control. Because most of the time, niggas are killing other so-called black people, which is why, again, I label most blacks social politically as low IQ, short bus, when they feel the need to defend criminal blacks who have no care about any type of community or not harming other black folks. But of course, they'll play that card when they need to, if one of their victims end up being somebody that's non-black, and especially if they're white. And it's just stupid. I am not defending homicidal maniacs or potential homicidal maniacs because of some BS color identifier that low IQ Negroes identify with. Especially when, again, none of those type of Negroes do anything to defend and protect law-abiding so-called black folks. In fact, they view them as corny, as squares, you know, insulting things, or things that's meant to be insulting. Now, if only, 80 to 90% of other so-called black people could understand that, but instead, they like to side with the criminal solely because he's so-called black.